everybody take their seats, please. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All board members are present except for Nancy. She called me today and said she couldn't make it. I'd like to start off with the AOK Awards right now, please.
Michael, why don't you begin? No, do the children first because some of them have a place to go.
Yes, not a problem. So our AOK awards are acts of kindness, right? And a student in our school at the elementary school, they're put in by anyone. It could be a teacher, staff member, it could be another child, they go to the office and let us know about an act of kindness. So we first want to represent, I know Lucas, you have the baseball games, but Lucas first here. Lucas Roger, come on.
Congratulations.
We had an assembly at school without being asked, without any direction. Lucas and another friend who we're going to showcase tonight as well just started to help them clean up after the assembly, which was great. So here you go, Lucas, a free ice cream cone, all right, bud? So also, with that same day and that same assembly, we have Josh Babcock. Where are you, Josh? There he is.
Congratulations.
Again, same assembly, without being asked, without being told by Lucas. These two are actually in the same class. Just started helping. Maintenance personnel, teachers, myself, whoever's in the gym, and that was really what we want to see, and it really pushes everybody forward, which is great. So, Josh, there you go, buddy. All right? And I have one more. All right, and this is for Janet Kramer, our little kindergartner here. So, our school counselor, Mrs. Gallo, put Janet in, and Janet noticed another student was having a hard time and went over to help her out. And so for Janet, helping out another student, right, thinking of others before yourself, there's your act of kindness, all right, sweetie?
Tracy?
One act of kindness, unfortunately for the high school kid, she had to work tonight. But this was actually, she was nominated by Owen and several other students. We gave her an AOK award at the beginning of the year because she always held the door open. She has done it every day without fail, kept the door open so everybody could leave the
And waits for me to get back in.
and waits for Dr. Guy to get back in every day without fail, rain, sun, doesn't matter. So I'll give this to her, but she had to work tonight.
This act of kindness award is for Deputy Tyler Terbush. Congratulations. You don't get an ice cream. But Tyler is always out helping the kids, and the parents acknowledge his presence and have complimented him time and again. And we appreciate the work that you do, and we thank you. You keep us safe, and you really cherish the children. Thank you.
That's all the awards, I guess?
Yes, sir.
All right, this time, the kids that got the awards, if you want to stay here and be bored and listen to us, you can, or you can go on home and have a nice night. It's up to you guys. Sheriffs can go too. At this time, I would like to invite Aileen Gunther up to the podium, please.
What a guy.
You want my mic?
Pardon?
You want my mic?
wife, Mickey, she grabbed me by the hand and she walked me through on what to do to become a New York State Assemblywoman. And they've been my friends for years and years. And I got to know John better when he took over in the Eldred School District. And all I can say is, what a guy. There are people that you meet in life that you know from the first time you talk to them how dedicated and how caring they are. And John certainly is a person that cares about every kid that he comes in contact with. And similar to me, we like to save anybody that we think is savable. And I think that's what, John, you're all about. And, you know, I do love him. I do. And I love his wife and his family. He's such an awesome guy. So in the New York State Assembly, we created a proclamation for you. Probably got a lot of them over the years.
No.
Did you?
No, this is the first.
Okay, so here we go. So this has to be passed before the New York State Assembly and the Senate. They also pick it up. So the New York State commitment to education is unparalleled. Its history and stature are secured by the superlative caliber of its educational professionals and the students that they inspire. And this legislature is proud to congratulate Dr. John Morgano upon the occasion of his retirement after 45 years of dedicated service as an educator in New York State. And it goes on and on, but that is about, you know, all you've done for such a long time. And we really honor you, and we hope that you continue to be an educator in our communities.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope I have earned this. And Eldred means a lot to me, and will always mean a lot. When I came here, I watched a video of the board meeting before I came here, and there was a board member arguing with another board member, and my wife said, "What is that?" And I said, "That's Eldred." She said, "Is that where you're going?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You're out of your mind." And as you all know, we had some bumpy roads in the beginning, but we have a supportive board now, and we may not always all agree, but we're rowing in the same direction. And it's about the kids. It's not about us. And I appreciate your support very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Magistrate. I have to stay with you.
Thank you, Aileen.
Thank you. And my wife's been telling me what to do for many years.
Dr. Morgano, you're up. Superintendent's report.
We have a wellness policy that limits recess, that it can't be used for any purpose other than recess. I'm asking the board to amend that policy and provide the principal the latitude of taking away recess for disciplinary reasons, not for academics. And I think there's not too many options that a principal has at the elementary, and this will be another option. Because for a kid to say, "Yeah, I hit that kid, and I'm not listening to you, and by the way, I'm going to mandated recess," there's something wrong with that. So I'm asking the board to amend the policy, and the principal, with the teacher recommendation, can keep recess or a part of it away, but only for behavior. And I think that's a step in the right direction. I want to thank everybody who came out tonight, and I appreciate your support. The district is going to be in excellent hands with Tracy. And I knew from the time we interviewed her for principal, she was going to be the next superintendent. She listens and learns. And I don't think I can do any more to teach her than what we've done. And she is a collaborator and a leader. And I have no qualms about leaving the district in her hands. And Tracy, good luck to you. And we also have with us tonight Michael Conklin, who is going to be our new high school principal. And Michael, you want to just say hi, just give a wave?
Hi everybody, I'm very excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here.
Michael's going to give you. Michael's going to be at the high school tomorrow and all next week. So he'll be going around to your classes and say hi to the kids and to you. And once again, thank you very much, because I didn't save the district. We all saved the district. I can't do anything alone. I need the board, I need you, and the parents. And together, we turn this district around. We went from a deficit to $3 million on hand, and there'll be $5 by the end of the year. You can't do that alone. And this district is going to be around for a long time. We had two people from the controller's office in our building for a year. We were the most fiscally stressed school district in the state. And I thank the board, especially Scott, with his support as president, and Caleb. Caleb found ways to bring in money that no one had ever thought of, like charging for foster kids. We were paying other districts, but not charging them for our kids. And he's written grants and brought in money. I think at one point we said he brought in about $800,000 in new money. Because you can't just cut stuff, you gotta increase your revenue. And he did that. And now we have a bond project that's going to go forward. The vote will be in December. And I'm asking for your support for that. I'll be at board meetings occasionally because I'm going to stay on and oversee the bond. So you're not totally rid of me yet. Thank you very much. That's the end of my report.
Any questions from the board for Dr. Morgano?
I would just like to thank Dr. Morgano personally as well. I know that you say that you didn't save the district, and you're right, you didn't single-handedly, but with you at the helm, I think that put us in the right direction, and I want you to know that you're very commended for all the efforts that you've put forward for our children.
Thank you.
Any other?
Thank you, Dr. Morgano. I've seen a lot of superintendents, and you are the best one.
Thank you. I don't know how I can have 45, 46 years in education when I'm only 50.
Okay, secondary report, Tracy?
First, I want to say thank you to Dr. Morgano for having faith in me and the future for Eldred, and I will definitely be calling you. And I really appreciate your mentorship the past years I've been in Eldred, and it's an opportunity, and I just want to say thank you for everything you have done for me.
You're welcome. And thank you for taking on a hard job.
So I did have the pleasure on May 19th. I went to the National Technology Honor Society, which was in person, so that was lovely. And we actually had two of our VOTEC students be admitted to the National Technical Honor Society. So congratulations to Kylie Kuhn and Angelina Caulfield. And it was just wonderful seeing all the awards in person and to be a part of that experience. We also had, right before our last, I guess, Memorial Day weekend, we got Color Wars. I've never seen Color Wars before because didn't get to see it because of the pandemic. So Color Wars is back, and it was, awesome. A huge thank you to Erin Tukolsky for bringing it back and for running it and picking all the different activities, and all the staff members that helped support her, watched the kids, participated, and everything. And the kids had a great time. Staff, I think, had a great time, and the students competed. They enjoyed ice cream. Once it was determined that the junior class had the bragging rights for Color Wars of 2022. This past Sunday, I got to see our live theater, so that's back. Owen, to my right, was part of it. It was amazing. A really big thank you to Beth Dearmond, Cliff Loretto, Connie Loretto. They put on an amazing show. It was Magic to Do, the songs of Stephen Schwartz, and it was awesome. Seven of our students participated. Owen Anderson, Andrew Pizzo, Kylie Kuhn, Natalie Edwards, Kristen Amoroso, Angie Curley, and Peyton McDaniel. They performed. I was just blown away by the talent and what they did. And it was just a wonderful way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And also thank you to Tammy Wells for making sure that they had help and opened up the building for rehearsals on weekends to help setting up and breaking down after the show. But I was glad to see that the Eldred Performing Arts Club is back in person, and we're just going to keep growing from there. The last thing I have is earlier this week, we actually got a Sullivan 180 Award for $500, and that was given to us. It was actually given to Kelly Pratchler and Denise Ferrer for our first annual Student Wellness Day. So we got $500 for collaborating with all of the Sullivan County resources. So we're going to have that again next year. So thank you, and that concludes my board report.
Tracy, do you want to introduce your parents and your husband?
Yes, my parents actually came up from North Carolina for this. They haven't been up here in several years because of COVID. So I have my mom, Jane Teague, and my dad's Stephen Teague. My husband is to the right, so that's Ramiro. So they all made he didn't make the long drive. They made the long drive from North Carolina, and they're with us for a couple of days. So I'm very blessed right now.
Welcome.
And I offered to dance with Tracy at Color Wars, but she turned me down. I don't know why.
Any questions for Tracy from the board? All good? Junior, senior high school student report. Owen, you're up, big guy.
Hello, everybody. So, I have a very quick report today to finish off the year. The National Honor Society would like to acknowledge volunteers who make events out in front of the high school. Myself, Autumn Walsh, Peter Dearman, Jerry, Kylie Kuhn, Angie Curley, all restored the best to its former glory. Each National Honor Society member also helped with painting up the cards ready for prom and the memorial ceremony that was held last week. And Mr. Nivison brought both the junior high and high school bands to NYSSMA Major's Wind Band Festival today at Kingston High School, and will be bringing the choruses and key elements to be adjudicated tomorrow. And that actually does conclude my report. I would like to give thanks to all of the board members and administration who I have been so grateful to sit at this table with you all this year. And just looking out in the audience, seeing all of the faces that I've grown up with, I'm very, very grateful for all of the teachers and staff that have helped shape me into who I am today. So thank you all.
And thank you for building a pool.
Any questions for Owen from the board? I do have a question. Not a question, but that was an outstanding prank. You want to talk about getting the public going? You know how many phone calls I got? We're putting this pool in the school? I said, did you look at the picture? It's made of PVC and canvas. I said, really? I just had a call today about it. I'm like, that was awesome. Yeah, I did. That was awesome. Whose idea? Was that your idea?
Not my idea.
Come on now. I thought it was good. That's definitely in the top 3. That was a good one. Michael, I'm sorry, I missed you up top there, so you're up, big guy.
Yep, thank you.
You have a presentation and thing? Okay, very
Thank
good.
you, Mr. Halleck.
Sorry about that.
Yep, I'll do my report to the board first, and then I can present about report cards and trimesters. So, really quickly, it's been an honor sitting next to Owen every month here. The next student council president has big shoes to fill. We get along up here. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm going to miss him immensely. He's off to SUNY Cobleskill next year, and he's going to pursue his dreams up there. So, great job, Owen.
Oh, and what place did you take today?
Place?
NYSSMA.
Oh, the senior high got silver and the junior high got gold. So.
I I'd also like to thank Dr. Margano. This being my first year here in the Eldred Central School District and being the principal at George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School, the opportunity that him and the Board of Education have given me this year is one that I'll never forget. It was always a dream of mine to be an elementary school principal. I tell everyone that I'm sitting in my dream job. I am. I have an incredible staff. Everyone in that building cares about every single child in that building, and that's all I care about. So thank you all very much, and especially you, Dr. Margano. Really quickly, our attendance continues to increase month after month. The big dip in November, December has caused us to not reach our goal of 95%, but we are at 92.68% for attendance for the school year through Monday, June 6th. All right, and that allows us to continue to improve our academic outcomes. You'll hear from me in a little bit here about asking the Board of Ed for approval to move to trimesters at George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School, as well as a standard-based report card. Our summer school rosters are set with just over 100 students set to come to George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School. That does not include the junior and senior high school students, so we will have a significant number of students receiving direct instruction over the summer. We had over 99% of all students take the New York State assessments in 3rd through 6th grade. And right now our enrichment club and film workshop are complete, but we continue with our 4-H program and our girls intramural program at George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School. The playground is installed and has been put to great use. You can ask our nurse, Nurse Tracy. And our makerspace appears to be that it's going to be furnished and ready to be utilized for our the start of the 2022-2023 school year. So pending any questions from the board, I will give the presentation.
Questions? All good? Yeah, good.
So what you're going to find today is I am looking to have the Board of Ed approve George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School move to trimesters and a standard-based report card. And it really needs to go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other. So here's my agenda really quick. It's only 9 slides. We're going to run through it. So why do we need to move to a standard-based report card? And the first bullet says it all. So we align with the New York Next Generation Learning Standards. Right now, our report card in 3rd through 6th grade does not align with those standards. And in order to improve academic outcomes for all students that come through the doors at GRM, we need to do this. The current report card, it just doesn't represent all the skills a child needs to be successful at. We talk about improving the academic outcomes on the English regions. That doesn't start in high school when you take the regions in 11th grade. It starts in pre-K. It starts in kindergarten. All those literacy moments have to be assessed properly. So we got together a report card committee based on support staff, faculty, as well as parents and myself. So we included many stakeholders so we can look at our report cards and how we can improve them and how they can be aligned with the New York Next Generation standards. Here's the process of what happens if we are approved to move to a new standard-based report card as well as trimesters. There's a little bit of a process that we've talked about with the business office. There is a small cost involved, and there's also a process with the RIC to update School Tool. All right, but those are things on the back end. Here's what our old report card looks like. It's grade-based for 3rd through 6th grade. And as important as grades are, it doesn't give you a complete picture of what the students we want graduating from JRM to look like. What is an 88 in ELA? What's an 84 in science? It's very difficult unless it's articulated in proper comments as well as continual parent interaction. But our new standard-based report card, is going to assess each of those learning standards that each child needs to hit and master in each of the grade levels. And it's going to give parents a better overall picture of how their child is doing, right? And again, it's unfortunate, but at times that student, you know, the mouse that's turning on the wheel, they're working and as hard as they can, that student's going to get that 80. But have they mastered the skills necessary, right? In literacy, in science, in ELA, in math, and that 80 doesn't answer that question. We're going to go to hopefully a standard-based report card where we go through a 1, 2, 3, or 4 standard, where we're either below grade level standards, approaching grade level standards, at grade level standards, or exceeding grade level standards. And that's really, really important, right? So we can properly assess our students. In order to do that, I'm going to ask a lot of my staff, because there are a lot of components to a standard-based report card, not just the 80 or the 88. So I think and feel that we need to move to trimesters. We're certainly not going to add more minutes to the day. We're not going to add more days to the school year. So in order to move to trimesters, what that allows, it allows faculty, and you'll see this on the last slide in a little bit, more time to properly assess students in the classroom. Junior, senior high school is different than the elementary school. You get those kindergartners coming in September, we're working on routines all the way through probably the middle of October, right? And just working on those routines. And then finally, what I like to call the meat and potatoes of the school year, you're getting from like about October to about May, right? So what do? We do a marking period right at the beginning of November, right when the classes are starting to get, wound up into their routines and ready to go and really, really excel that learning. The trimesters is going to push that back a little bit. We're going to have an assessment in the first week of December. We'll have an assessment around the middle of March, and then an assessment at the end of June. Right here, provides more opportunities to build relationships and rapport with students while building routines in the elementary school. Gives teachers a longer window, and all the research shows that trimester grading periods are more developmentally appropriate for elementary school students. It's really just a creative way to try to find more time in the day without extending the day. Shifts the focus to the quality of student work, and it also aligns with our STAR assessments that we give 3 times a year, and which is our basis to see student growth. And here are 2 quotes, and the last quote is big for me. Alternative schedules may not add hours to the school day, but they can vastly improve the quality of the time students spend at school, and that's what we're looking for. More quality instruction at GRM. And again, this just gives you a little breakdown. If moving to trimesters is approved, we'll have report cards 3 times a year. We'll have almost a 60-day assessment period. And we would meet with parents twice per year, once after trimester 1 or right before trimester 1 ends, and then again after trimester 2, which would be in that March time period, and then their final assessment would be that final report card in June. And of course, you'd have any other parent-teacher conferences going forward that would be deemed necessary by the classroom teacher. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions from the board?
I have. I'm wondering if you went over this with the teachers and how they feel about it since they're in the classroom with the kids all the time.
Yeah, so we've discussed this a lot at our faculty meetings. That's one of the reasons we did a committee, to make sure there were staff involved. We had special area teachers involved. We had classroom teachers in both the primary and the intermediate grades. I think we've gotten some positive feedback from the staff. If we move to a standards-based report card, there is going to be a little bit more of an onus on how we assess our students. So moving to trimesters allows teachers that opportunity to only do 3 report cards because they're doing it every 60 days instead of every 45 days. So from the feedback that I've received, the teachers are going to get the report cards in the next day or 2 to take a look at, and they're also going to be able to give us feedback as well. So the standard-based report card is based on the New York State Next Generation standards. Those teachers, the classroom teachers, the experts that are in the, where the rubber meets the road, they're going to let me know if this is an appropriate report card, what needs to be taken out, what needs to be put in, and so they're getting that voice and that feedback.
I also have a question. So right now, we're giving out numerical grades. Would that change in the sense that they will not have numerical grades?
So at the elementary school, we would no longer have numerical grades. It would be strictly a standard-based report card for all grade levels, kindergarten through 6th grade. Pre-K has its own report card.
Is there additional context that's going to be based around the rating that they're given?
Additional context?
Additional context.
Yeah, so again, it goes to understanding the standards and what we need to assess students
You want
on.
to give an overview of what a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 is?
Yeah, so again, the 1 would be like, every student's going to be graded on each standard on a 1, 2, 3, or a 4, right? Just like they are on the state assessments. A 1 is how you are, if you are below grade level standards. So for second or kindergarten, can you count by 10s to 100? If a student can't do that, but they can count to 50, then they're probably approaching grade level standards. That would be a 2. If they can do it to rate to 100 at the beginning of the year in September without any instruction, they're exceeding the grade level standard. If they can do it in May at the end of the year after instruction, it's a 3. They've met the grade level standard.
I'm just curious how this is preparing them for what they're going to be faced when they go into the junior, senior high school, going into numerical grades. Is there a possibility that we could do a hybrid type of evaluation on the
So there's a
report cards?
possibility with that. You also want to consider that the classroom teachers are going to have the autonomy if they want to give, an assessment in math. You could still see a 90 on that assessment, but then that teacher has to make the assessment, are they on grade level of 3, or are they exceeding grade level standards with that 90 with a 4? That's really what it is. They just won't see that numerical grade on the report card.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, Al.
What is the schools that are the success stories in going to trimesters?
So one just south of us, Port Jervis, who I contacted the elementary school principal who was there when they initiated their own trimesters. 2 of our parents that were on the report card committee also went through this transition at the elementary schools in Port Jervis. They're one of them. Minnesink's another one. There's a number of different schools in just the local area that have done this. Again, it takes the committee to agree to it. It takes the Board of Ed to agree to it. So there's a lot involved there. Sometimes change is not always warranted or wanted, but here I think it's a good thing as it gives us, again, a better picture of the individual students moving forward.
I changed the report card in Minnesink to a standards-based.
Right.
And the board president asked, well, my kid gets an S or an S plus now. What does that mean? I said, it means he's charming, but it doesn't tell you anything about what he knows. And they didn't like the idea, but we adopted it. We didn't have the trimester. I think that's a good idea as well.
Yeah, we just work with routines so much in the elementary school, and again, like we always joke, it's June in an elementary school. Well, after spring break, the kids know it's toward the end. The teachers know, I know, the staff knows, and so unfortunately, getting just those 3 marking periods, it's going to give us a better assessment, because the first marking period is routines when we first come back to school, and the last marking period includes field trips, which have an educational piece to it, but, how does that help us assess the student? So that last marking period is 10 weeks after spring break until June. The trimester now is going to give you that full, almost, 9 to 10 weeks that you're going to get to be able to assess the child over a longer period.
Thank you, Mr. Carpentier.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Michael. Are we all good with questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I neglected to talk about school safety, and I want to make a point that I met with Stephanie this morning, and we meet every Friday religiously and probably every other morning because we're both early birds. And we talked about school safety. We had a committee meeting the other day. There was different varying opinions. I'm going to propose to the board that they hire a professional consultant. We hire consultants for math, for reading, for every other subject. We're not experts in safety, and we need to spend the money to hire a consultant to come in and give us some guidance. We can take or leave what they recommend, but I think it's important to have a consultant, and I spoke to Tracy about this, and she's 100% on board with that, because nothing is as important as the safety of our kids. And if, God forbid, anything ever happens, I want to at least know that we did everything we possibly could have to keep them safe. And we also have to fix the windows so that you can get out of the window in an emergency. Stephanie's window requires a jack to open up, and that's not good. And finally, our SRO. I'm asking the sheriff's office for us to have a relationship with Sullivan West and maybe like Port or another school to share a sub, which would cost us a third of what the SRO cost. So it would be about $35,000. But when we have nobody with a gun here, and a bad guy comes with a gun, we all know how long it takes for the police to get here. And there could be a lot of damage in that time. And that's why I'm looking to get a sub. There's got to be an SRO here every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McGann. Director of Instructional Support report, Scott.
Hey, good evening. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Dr. Morgano has been just an inspiration for the district, and I personally have seen a number, along with Amador as one of the longer-running board members. People come and go, so I wish him well on his future endeavors, whatever they may be. Along with something that Dr. Morgano had also stated about having a lot of people, consultants come in to the district. We've had quite a few over this past year. We've had somebody come in for our inclusion program. We've had somebody come in for our MTSS program. We've had somebody coming in for math and also for literacy, and they've all continued to work diligently with the staff in trying to make what is an experience for our students a positive one. So I've submitted some materials to Dr. Morgano. I know that on this board meeting, we've already looking at a math person coming in for next year. One of the things that we'll use our math person for is we've really focused our MTSS, our RTI efforts on literacy this past year, and we didn't do a lot with math. We're continuing with our literacy focus, but we really want to encompass some of the things that are happening with math so that we know that we have a solid foundation for our elementary kids all the way up through junior, senior high. And we're looking at goals. This year, we have a pretty robust summer school program, our summer district program, and we're looking at ways that we can help focus the learning loss and turning that around for our kids at the elementary level. It has always been for the junior, senior high school, like if you failed the class, you take it again to try to get the credit to move on. But we're really trying to focus on that the kids at the elementary level have a great standard that can be met so that we don't have as many kids that are not meeting standards when they go up to the elementary or the junior, senior high school. So that's pretty much a goal that Mike and I have been working on, that we're providing a very solid foundation for students moving up to the junior, senior high school. And lastly, we have had a couple of meetings with our really great reading program. It's really there to focus on phonemic awareness and phonics. And we'll be looking at next year what direction we need to take for some of the other initiatives that the principals will wish to focus on. That's all I have to share with you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Krebs. Any questions from the board for Scott?
None.
Moving forward, Caleb, you're up.
Okay. All right, well, I just want to start, like everybody else, thanking Dr. Morgano. I want to thank you for taking a chance on me, helping me get my administrative license. I think a lot of us up here owe Dr. Morgano quite a bit, and I think I can say with confidence that we're all going to miss you. I feel a little bit better knowing that Tracy's going to be the one taking over, because we all love Tracy, so I think that eases everybody's mind. But let me get into my report. So I just want to update you guys on the budget. So it looks like we're going to put between $100,000 and $300,000 into the bank this year. That should leave us with a fund balance, as Dr. Morgano was saying, of about $4 million. We got one number crossed. Right now we have $5 million in the bank. We're going to have $3 million at the end of the year. So it was the other way around.
Well, what are you doing with the other one?
That's what we. Well, the next item on my list is the bond project. So the bond payment is due in June. So that's so we're going to pay our annual bond payment, and then we've got one more payroll, and that's the big pay. So okay, I'm into June. Okay, so just an update on the bond project. After talking to bond counsel, we're getting a little bit less in aid than we were hoping for. So that's going to have to come in at around $12 million instead of $14 million. We think we'll still probably be able to get everything that we want to get done that we had discussed. A couple of things would probably get scaled back, but we had a meeting today with the architects, and we fully believe we can get everything that we need to get done on that budget. The transportation lease, we are not going to get these buses until the start of the school year now. And they didn't sound extremely confident that we were going to get them at the start of the school year either. The good news is we can keep the current buses we have, and we don't have to pay additional money, so it's not like an additional lease payment that we're going to have to make. So we're not going to be in any kind of transportation issue. We're just not going to have the new buses that we were hoping to have. Hopefully before school starts, but possibly not. I'm going to skip the fuel bid and come back to that one because that's probably going to warrant some more discussion. Sanitation bid came in. That is up about 10% from 18 to 20,000. Thompson is the only one who bid it. I suggest that we award the bid to them. And tentatively, I contacted DCMO and said that that's who we're going to go with. A quick update on the grant status. We got $1,800,000 from the federal government. We still have 800 left. We spent $1 million. That includes the playground, audiovisual equipment, that whole paved area there. We've upgraded just about every technological item we have, bought new Chromebooks, and then that covered the summer school. It's going to cover this summer school, and it covered last summer school. But there's still about $800,000 left. About $100,000 is we came under. So we're going to have to repurpose that, which is good news. So we came under on certain items that we budgeted, and we'll just have to reallocate that. We now qualify for the CEP program for the high school cafeteria. That's the community eligibility program. So we can now do free lunch in the high school as well. I'm going to send that application in by the end of this month, and so both buildings will be free lunch going forward. And now on the fuel bid, obviously the numbers aren't great. So we were paying $1.93 for diesel fuel last year. The current bid, and tentatively, the one that's on here is a variable price, is $4.41 right now. You can lock in at $4.50. The gamble is, the first time we fill up for fuel is in January. So what's fuel going to be in January? And then diesel fuel, similar number. We're looking at, it was $4.48 for diesel fuel. Last year we only paid $1.93. So I filled up all of our tanks. So we have 10,000 gallons at $1.88 in fuel oil and $1.93 in diesel fuel. 10,000 at this, 10,000 at the other school, and 10,000 in our bus tank up there. And if we can get a small shipment, I'll fill it up to 10,000 gallons again on June 23rd.
Get it while you can get it, because it's not good.
Yeah, no, so the options you have, I spoke to David Shaw, but I don't know that this is going to end up any better. He said you can reject the bid and go out to a bid on your own. I don't think you're going to get better prices. If you don't lock in, you're going to be paying market rate until you do. So the options aren't great. That's going to be something the board's got to decide. I think I would go with the variable rate. I don't think it's going to be as high in January. That's when we fill up. We're not going to be buying anything until then. But there isn't a great option. So that's where we're at with that. If you guys have any questions, happy to answer.
Diesel fuel is going to be a problem.
It is.
It's a problem right now.
Yeah.
There's many gas stations on the East Coast that are out of fuel and they can't get it.
Yep.
And that DEF, that additive that you have to have with diesels,
Yep.
that's going to be a shortage. Come July and August is going to be an issue.
Luckily, we're stocked on the additive.
I know we are, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. Any questions for Caleb from the board?
Yeah. Caleb, what are we doing to offset the fuel oil prices?
Well, the best thing I did now is bought it all cheap and filled up as much as we can. I mean, there's not a lot that we can do about it.
Tough to see in the future.
We're not going to spend like we did this year on equipment, so that's going to be where we're going to get a lot of our savings. Last year we spent $310,000 on equipment, even off. That is on top of the grant stuff. But there's not much we have left to buy. All of our stuff is pretty updated. So that number is going to be closer to 100,000 this year, so it's going to be about 210 grand less in equipment. I think that's where most of our savings are going to come in. Otherwise, it's going to hurt, basically. Just like, unfortunately, the rest of the world, it's painful.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on gas pricing in January?
Well, the energy markets think it's going to be lower, but they're wrong all the time. I mean, I don't want to give you false comfort. Like it's a little bit of a gamble either way you go. They think the projections are that in January it should be in the low 4s or high 3s. So to lock in now at $4.50, if it's $3.90, 60 cents doesn't sound like a lot, but 60 cents on every time we fill up is 7,500 gallons. And between January and May, we usually fill up about 22,000 gallons at each building. So 60 cents, you know, could end up being close to $24,000. I mean, so it's a lot of money. I think it's going to be a little lower in January. I think it will ease in between now and then. Also, the summer months are higher. So the numbers you're seeing now are the highest for diesel, not for fuel oil. For diesel, these are usually the highest months because everybody's going out, everybody's traveling, prices go up. Fuel oil, the highest months you see are in the winter.
Yeah, winter.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a tough call. It's a gamble.
I struggled with it myself.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know which way. I would tell you the other schools, Monticello went with the variable price.
Okay.
They're the only other school that owns their own buses. I can tell you the other schools went with the fixed price. And I can tell you that we all discussed it and we were in the same boat. So us and Monticello did the variable, the other guys did fixed. I don't know if they have some kind of a built-in price gauge or if it was just a coincidence that us and Monticello own our buses and did the variable. But the look of the cost, so like last year we spent about $70,000 on diesel fuel and it's looking like close to 120 grand at these.
What's going to be the total difference in the course of a year?
About $50,000 in diesel fuel and another 60 in heating oil between the two buildings.
That's 110,000.
Yeah. Yes, easy 110. We usually spend just shy of 200 grand normally. So you're going to be getting close to 3 this year. It's an ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary because our country moves on diesel fuel.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's also the reason that our sanitation bid went up. So they were charging $18,000 last year. They want $20 this year. They've got to fill those trucks up with diesel fuel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's scary. Any other questions for Caleb from the board? All good? Yes, it's my turn. Michael, we want to welcome you to the team. I think you're going to be a good fit. You're a great bunch of people to work with. I've been here for 4 years with them. I love, you know, it's a great place to be. It's a close-knit community, and I think you're gonna fit in well. Well, what can I say?
It's been a great partnership.
Yes, it has.
You
stole a lot of my thunder. You know, this is what stinks about going last. Everybody said everything good about him already. But I'm gonna duplicate some of it, and I'm gonna. So back 4 years ago, when I was asked to run, I decided to run for school board. And one of the meetings I was at, he resigns. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm running because you can't get nothing done, and you're having a hard time, and you resign. So I looked at him. I said, you need to stay until you see how this vote works. I didn't realize I was doing this. So I got in my car, and my wife says to me, you realize you were pointing at him? I said, good, I hope I got his attention. With that being said, I took a half a day's vacation the next day and come down to his office, and that's how we met, person to person that way. And of course, I was wound up, and everybody that knows me, when I'm a little wound up, I get excited.
No.
But it's been a good run. It was a hard job to come into, having to get rid of 12 teachers, positions, I should say, people. They were all your coworkers, your friends. You know, that's a tough, I'm sure you didn't wake up and say, hey, Mick, I'm gonna have a great day today. I get to go fire 10 people. No, I know Dr. Morgano better than that, and that was a hard thing. And like I've always said, our physical stress level was at 78. You want to be first in a lot of things, but you don't want to be first there. That's not where you want to be first. And within a year and a half to 2 years, we're down. We're off the chart. We're not even considered there. We have a nice fund balance, and as he said before, because of the team that's here at Eldred, that you're going to witness pretty soon, and the board, and everybody collectively working at it, we are here today, and we are sound school district. And we're small, but we are very sound. And thanks to all you and everybody else, that's why we're here today.
And I canceled that vote.
Yes.
It was the first in the state.
Yeah.
I called the attorney and said, is it illegal? She said, no one's ever done it. I said, well, it's going to happen in about 5 minutes. Because Scott told me he had to use a chainsaw to get to the vote. And the other candidate said the same thing. And you can't disenfranchise 95% of your community. So I canceled it. That led, as you remember, to a couple of board members losing their minds. And that led to them leaving and my withdrawing my resignation. So it's a long story, but it worked out for the best. Scott and I don't agree on politics, but we agree on most other things.
We shake hands at the end of conversations, and we do business.
Yep.
I'd like to personally say thank you. I've been a part of this community for 55 years. I'm 55 years old, obviously, and I don't look 55, but I am 55. But I would seriously thank you for all your efforts and your work in coming to Eldred and helping us save it.
Thank you. Of course, my first meeting was Scott calling out Brian at a board meeting to go outside and settle it.
I wasn't going to go there.
And, well, there may be some people that don't know that. And I said to myself, this is an interesting place. And things worked out for the best. And as I said before, we have a board that is supportive of me and you. And we couldn't say that 5 years ago. And I appreciate the board's support.
At this time,
Oops, sorry. I just wanted to point out, so on number 6.07, there's an amendment. There was, that date is wrong. July 14th, it should be June 23rd.
hold on.
I'm sorry.
What's this now?
So the date, July 14th, that should be June 23rd. And it also should state that it's the rate for hours worked. I just wanted to get that out before you guys voted on it.
You good?
Yep, that was it.
At this time, I will take public comment on the consent agenda items only. Just what's on the consent agenda items only. I'll take public comment. Any public comment? Okay, going forward. I'd like to make a motion to approve consent items 4.01 through 7.09.
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion by Stacy, second by Amador. Any conversation?
I have, yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
6.12, appointment of curriculum and instructional per diem adjustment. I don't know if I'm in agreement with that daily rate.
That's the same rate as the other consultants. When we first hired Sue, we were in dire straits financially, and she took less than half of what the people are making now per day for the same service. So that's why it was adjusted and why it was so low in the beginning.
I just feel like it's quite a step, and maybe we need to see what she's done to justify raising that daily rate over double.
Well, as I said, it's consistent with the other consultants. And Scott, do you want to share what Sue's done?
Sue, when I spoke about this originally, she was the one that started this past year to look at our math curriculum and assist us with our math support. And next year, we were looking to continue our improvement in math RTI services for students. So she's going to be that person that's going to oversee the math RTI.
And she doesn't work a lot of days.
No, actually, I don't know if she got all of her days this past year. But,
She didn't come close. No, we did like 2.5 days, I think, something like that.
But I don't anticipate her using all of those days. I would say that this past year, we didn't really focus that much on math because we focused on literacy, so we didn't use her as much as we anticipated, but we're expecting to do that next year.
How many days did we use her, Caleb?
So the last one was for 2.5 days. We had her budgeted for in a grant for 5,000, and we didn't even use half of it. So I'm gonna have to file an amendment to kind of move that around for this year.
That was at the lower rate, correct?
I'm sorry, what was that?
That was at the lower rate.
Yeah, that was at the lower rate. Yeah, under this rate, it would have come close.
Scott, what are the metrics that you're going to use to determine the success rate of Ms. Wheeler's efforts next year?
If our RTI program is off and running in math. That was really what we were trying to do this year in our literacy program, but next year we're going to try to focus on math. So we can come back at the end of the year and kind of see where we are with that program in literacy and math.
Okay.
All good? Tracy and Michael, would you like to make a comment on the teachers that we're hiring for your schools? Michael, go first, or Tracy? Whoever wants to go first.
I would love to. Can I go first, Tracy? Excellent. So we are hiring 2 teachers who've been in our building all year this year. They are our district-wide substitutes. We have Casey Weiss and Alyssa Swinford, if they could both please stand up. So if I could just say a little bit about both of them. So when you're a district-wide sub, you don't know what you're going to walk into when you walk into the building every morning. So I always used to love when Casey or Alyssa would come in and say, you know where I am today? And I was like, I don't know just yet, but I'm going to let you know pretty soon because kids are coming in about 10 minutes. And so they have to be prepared to do all grade levels every single day. That's pre-K through 6th grade. That's a wide range of age groups, of curriculum, and they did it with such poise and such excellence, and that's why I can't wait to have them in our building as tenure-track position teachers at GRM.
Thank you, Michael.
And Ryan Ward is with us. We were very fortunate this year to have him as a leave replacement. He worked with Mr. Glantz and Mrs. Glantz, and then he took over. He taught anything and everything. I said, oh, by the way, you're teaching intro to psychology. He was like, okay. Military history, fine. So whatever I ask him to do, he is ready to go in the morning, always with a smile, and love his energy. Next year, he will be our 7th and 8th grade social studies teacher, also with some coaching. I already told him to tell his wife that he will be coaching and not home much. So he will be with us, but I am so glad we got him. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you, Tracy.
You have big shoes to fill.
At this time, I'll take a vote on consent agenda items 401 through 709. Stacy?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Amador?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All yeses. At this time, is there any old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board?
I have something.
Shoot.
So the Port Jervis Rotary every year does the Service Above Self Scholarship. And this year, the recipient is Owen Anderson. Congratulations to Owen. It was a tough choice, but Owen, you earned it. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Owen. I have one question. Are you really going to retire? Or are you going to go to another school?
I would not go to another school district. The only reason I'm leaving is because of my health. But I'll be at board meetings because I'm going to be overseeing the bond. So don't count on me disappearing too quick.
I'm sure my phone will ring at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I like texting you
I know you
about
do.
4 or 3:30.
And you get the answers, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Public comment, and anybody wants to make a statement about Dr. Borgano or anything you want to talk about, now's the time to do it. Any public comment?
Thank you, Dr. Morgan.
Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Again, I'd like to compliment and I just want to thank the Board of Ed and Dr. Morgano and every administrator that took part in the interview process. When the first interview I came in here, I started out in a small school district, and I felt like I was home, and I'm very excited to get to work with all of you, and I'm looking forward to the future. just from this meeting, and just celebrating a lot of stuff, it's evident that schools are first here, and this is a great place to do it. And I beyond these 7 years, so thank you very much.
So with deep regret, we accepted Dr. Morgano's resignation, but with great thing is that we have Tracy. I know, I see it. Relax. I see it. Okay, we can't wait to work with you, Tracy. As much as we're sad to see him go, we know we got a good person coming in, and we look forward to working with you.
There's a woman in an orange mask.
Still public comment?
Dr. Morgano, I cannot thank you enough. On behalf of me and my sister Sherry, the only two I'm to talk for is would be me and my sister, who retired last year. We cannot thank you enough. You had some hard decisions to make. You came in as the outsider coming in. You made the hard decisions, and it really benefited all of us who are here this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for working through these health issues that you talked about. We know that you have been an absolute trooper in doing that, and we appreciate your hard work, your dedication, and your ability to get all of those folks up there in front of this room to come together to work for the betterment of our school district. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Go for it, Mrs.
So
Young.
I'm going to piggyback on her just to say that we have the financial struggles. Obviously, we had the COVID pandemic, something I don't think any of us have ever been through before, something like that. And we did right by our kids, and in particular our students with disabilities, where I think we were a highlight in the area on how much effort and time we put in to make that wonky schedule and things work, but we did right by them, and that was because of you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, June.
Dr. Morgano, we visited kindergarten quite a bit. This year it's pre-K. The children loved seeing you all the time. I'm so happy we videotaped all of those dance moves that you taught the children. They were in the archives.
I still make the dance moves, but only when I'm walking. I taught them how to do the twist.
And I do hope when you come and visit that you visit us again at the elementary school and say hello to the new little kids that come in.
I love visiting the little ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for being real, for talking to us, for letting us know what's going on, for taking the stakeholders, the teachers, the staff into account before you make the decision. And I know you had to make a lot of hard decisions, and maybe not everybody was happy with them, but I do that it was real and it's respect that you actually talked to people before you did it and you told us what was going on instead of being in the dark.
I always remembered what it was like to be a teacher. And I went into administration because I found the people I was working for were idiots. And I said, I can make a difference as an administrator. And I hope I did.
Yes, you did. Any other public comment?
I would like to make a comment. So, as many people kind of sitting here now know, I was asked to be one of the members of the bond committee, and early on I was advocating for auditorium. And we know that did not go to my hopeful plan, which is perfectly understandable, and I, of course, understand that just couldn't happen. One thing that I do kind of hope moving forward that our school can hopefully push towards is more focus on the music department as a whole. I think our music department is something really, really special here, and I have really held it dear to my heart this entire time throughout high school. I've been taught by many, many music teachers, and unfortunately have seen some go too. And Mr. Nivison is a very, very special person to me, and I know that he cares very much about the music program, but I also see that sometimes it can be
overwhelming because it is a lot of work to be doing chorus and band, and it's just a lot. And I hope to see sometime in the future that if we could get another music teacher in the building, that would be something that would be very, very good. I hope to see it.
Is that it? Everybody good?
All right, I'll say something. Thank you so much, Dr. Morgano, for your dedication and your true care for our children. You were so good to our kids and so dedicated to the district and the students. I know it wasn't always easy, but thank you for fighting the good fight. We're
Thank
going to
you.
miss you.
Thank you.
Our next meeting will be held here at 6 p.m. Thursday, July 7, 2022, reorganization meeting here at the high school. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.